Welcome back to Insight. It is Financial Friday, so we are joined now by Casey Weed from Howard Bailey Financial. So we often speak metaphorically when we are talking about some of these financial topics to help everyone understand, and today is no exception. We are going to talk about the fiscal house. So let's get right to it.
Sure.
How can we help people better understand sort of their financial well-being and the stability of their retirement plan by describing it with the financial house, the fiscal house?
Well, as you said, this is something that we do regularly on the show. This is something we do regularly in the office, is trying to break these difficult to understand or sometimes difficult to understand financial concepts down and make them a little bit easier for everybody to understand. And one way we do that in our office, we have a nice big whiteboard that we get on, and we like to get up there and explain those concepts to people. So we brought a prop with me today.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to build this fiscal house with you.
Okay.
And have either one of you ever built a house before?
I have not, but I did go through it with my parents when I was a kid, so I at least have some understanding.
I haven't, because I prefer not to hurt anyone. Yeah.
You would.
I understand it takes a little more patience.
Well, many people really that I ask that question to they said, oh boy, we built a house, but it was not fun, and it was a lot of hard work, and it took a long time, and that's a lot that goes into a financial plan, or building our financial or fiscal house is a lot of hard work, and the first thing we have to do when we build a house is what?
Build a foundation?
Build a foundation, right?
Maybe I can build a house.
So we've got to build that foundation,
okay,
and that's the first and most important part of a house.
Right.
And when that tsunami and earthquake came across Japan last year, we saw a lot of pictures on the news and some of the destruction and the path of that hurricane that went through there, an earthquake. And what is the one thing that we saw in those pictures?
Poor foundations, or lack of a solid foundation.
The thing that we actually saw were foundations. The only thing that was remaining the only thing left was really that foundation.
Okay.
That's because that foundation's there to make it through whatever kind of storms come their way.
Okay.
And in our financial plan, this is where we have our liquidity. This is where we have our emergency money, the money we need for income and healthcare expenses. And this is the most important part of your retirement plan. And what you have to do in retirement is build a really strong financial foundation. Then we have our walls. And in those walls, we have a lot of stable income producing things like bonds and rental real estate and things like that. And then we put our roof on the house. Now, there was not too long ago, there was some hailstorms that came through Fort Wayne. And as those storms came through, maybe you were sitting at home and heard some of that hail hitting the roof.
I did. It was a Saturday. I was like, what the heck is that? It interrupted my football.
Did you hop up on the roof with your umbrella and try to protect it?
I did not do that, no. No.
And some birds maybe fly over every once in a while and do their business. And you're probably not up there scrubbing the roof, right?
No.
Well,
You're a smart lady, Charity.
There's a lot of things that happen on this roof that we just can't control. There's a lot of things that come along that we can't control, but we can maintain it. That's the same thing with stocks and options and mutual funds. Those different things that go in our financial roof that we can't control. Things like terrorist attacks or bank failures or whatever happens in Greece or China and around the world. There's a lot of things we can't control, but we have to maintain that roof. So now we have to start figuring out, well, how much do we put in each of these different areas? And so if I can maybe give you a quick example of a house that we recently built. I'm going to make this real simple, but we had a couple that were in their late 60s, early 70s, and we started taking a look at this house that they had built. And when we did that, we found that they had about $100,000, and I'm going to use nice round numbers here.
That works.
That works, and in that base they had about $100,000. That was what they had in the bank for emergencies, and it was the easiest thing for them to go get, and that's what they were comfortable with. Then we started looking at the walls. They had about $200,000 in the walls, and I know I'm not the greatest artist, but
it worked.
They had about $200,000 in rental real estate, and then beyond that, we had about $700,000 in the roof. And this is what I see more often than anything else, is too much in the roof. Now, if you had $1 million and you wanted to build a home, you took it to your general contractor and said, I want to build a $700,000 roof.
They'd say you're crazy.
They'd say you're crazy, right?
Right.
Well, it's the same thing when it comes to your financial plan. As you get closer to retirement, we have to start building a stronger foundation, and we have to start turning this around and building a stronger base. And so there's a rule for that called the rule of 100. We build a wider base. We should have about, for a 70-year-old, 70% of your funds in that foundation to build a strong income, guarantee your health care, make sure you never have to go back to work.
All great ideas. Let Casey Weed and the folks at Howard Bailey help you build your financial house. You can give them a call today or email them info@howardbailey.com. You can also email us a question for Casey, insight feedback at incnow.tv. We'll be right back on Insight.